Yesterday, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, went on the air and said that Europe's security and prosperity is less certain because of US President Donald Trump, that President Trump means the US cannot be a dependable partner. We had the Prime Minister on Tuesday tell us that the president is siding with a lying, murderous dictator. Is America our opponent now?
Well, I would say that the American people will always be our friends and neighbors. But we are right now in a trade war, Althia, that was launched by President Trump himself and his administration against the very interests of Canadians. And this trade war will have consequences of people losing jobs. And it is an affront to our economy, to our sovereignty, to the very partnership that we've built with the Americans over our history. So this is very, very, very serious. And it is an existential threat to us. So in that context, definitely, I think that right now, the Trump administration doesn't want the best for Canadians.
So much of the talk about our response has been our need to decouple from the U.S. economically, about chasing new markets, about fixing internal trade barriers. But we haven't really spoke about decoupling in terms of defense and the protection of our own country, because so much of it is intertwined continentally with the United States. Are those discussions happening as well? Like, are we rethinking our F-35 purchase?
So when negotiating with the U.S. team, they've put a lot of things on the table. When we're having what we would think a sound conversation on trade, they would bring up many other things, such as the border and the recognition of our border, such as military cooperation, to your point, such as water cooperation, such as Five Eyes cooperation. Sometimes coming from the president himself, sometimes from his aides. But that creates a lot of unpredictability and lack of trust, to say the least. So meanwhile, we have a very strong military cooperation. And I think on the ground, that continues. But fundamentally, Canadians need to understand that the 2% conversation is about us. It's not about spending on defense for others. It is about the protection of our own territory, of our own people. And in that sense, it is the government's duty, first duty, I must say, to protect its citizens. So not only do we need to invest more in defense, and I've said that many times, and I've said that for the past 3 years being the foreign minister, and even using the term that I thought I was hawkish on this because I was seeing the world becoming a much more dangerous place. But at the same time, we need to do more in the sense that we need to look at our procurement, to your point. We need to create jobs at home in the defense sector. These are good, well-paying jobs, and we need to attract investments. We need to be able to make our own supply chains in the defense sector. We have great strength in aerospace, particularly in the province where I come from. And we have great expertise also in the digital economy and all the technology that is required for drones. And we do that in Ontario. We have a lot of people working in AI, which is so key in the defense sector across this country, in Vancouver, etc. So we need to do more, but we can't only spend and invest in defense by basically rewarding American companies. We needed to do it for ourselves.